Hey, what's up, everyone? How are you doing today? How is everything going? Welcome to our live broadcast. This is the fifth live broadcast, actually, and together today I'm going to be hosting it with Andrew. Andrew, our CTO. So, guys, right now let's wait for a little bit, just for a few minutes for other people to join. And after that, we will start. Just let me know if you can hear me properly, if you can see me, if everything is okay. Maybe just even type in the chat box where are you guys got connected from which country. It's going to be interesting actually to see. Okay. Yeah, so I can see that you're greeting us. Thank you, guys. Okie dokie. So, as far as I can see, it's 48 of us already for now. So let's just wait for a little bit longer. So it's like at least 50 of us here, so we could start. And just let me know if everything is okay and if the sound is okay and you can hear me properly. Oh, I see Germany, India, wow. South Africa, that's cool. That's really nice to see that, guys, you're got connected worldwide, it's really, really amazing. Okay, so basically today what we're gonna do, we're gonna have a live broadcast Q&A just as usually on the really interesting topic. The topic is the CCTs, the custom content types. This is the new feature. It just got released with the JetEngine 2.5 update, so it's new to you, it's new to us. So today Andrew is going to tell us everything about this new feature, what it is, how it works, how to set it up, and so on. So as far as I can see, it's 50 of us already. So also, we might have a little pause today. So there's going to be some, nice chilling music so you could get some tea, coffee, water, orange juice, milk, or anything else that you guys need, because today is going to be actually really, really interesting live broadcast. Okay, so UK, that's really interesting. South California, USA, Pakistan, nice, Russia, Spain, incredible, guys. So I'm really, really glad to see all of you. And right now, I will probably pass the floor to Andrew. So guys, could you please help me in welcoming Andrew today? Andrew, how are you doing? How is everything going?
Hi guys, I'm fine. Hope you and we enjoying today broadcast. So
Andrew, I guess we can actually start. As far as I can see, it's already 61 of us, so it's
oh,
it's great.
it's a
It's
good.
great, yeah.
Maybe will be our record today on the live broadcast.
Yeah,
Uh,
67, 70 of now. Okay, great. So yeah, I guess we can start, guys. So just give me a second. I'll bring you the full screen of Andrew's camera. Just a second.
okay, so let's start. And today we will take a closer look at our new JetEngine module, which named custom content type. The first version of this module presented in the JetEngine 2.5. And today we will go over the main cases that can be implemented with this model, using this model. And after this, I will uncover a bit of our future plans in regards to the development of this model. And after that, you will have the possibility to ask all your questions. So firstly, let's start. Let's start and say a couple of words about what exactly this model does. It allows you to create a separate table in WordPress database, customize structure of this table, and add some UI interface to the admin panel for viewing, editing, exporting data stored in this table. Visually, it's all very similar to the custom post types. We're all using them for a long time. So from visual part, you don't see much more some new things. The main difference is that the information in this new table, in the tables of this new module, in some way isolated from the rest of the database storage because it's stored in the separate table, not in the posts and post meta like usual post types. What it means? It means that again, as usual, when we're speaking about regular posts of any post type, which you have on your site, websites, all its data stored in two database tables. First, it's posts, and second is post meta. And moreover, in the post meta table, each meta field for each post is stored as separate row. So, for example, if we have some custom post type with 20 meta fields added, the information from each post of this post type will occupy one row in the posts database table and conditionally 20 rows in the post meta table. Why conditionally? Because in the fact it will be more. It's related to the WordPress core and related to the WordPress core saves a few more lines of metadata for each post for core needs. And let's imagine that we have 100 posts of this post type. So they will occupy 2,100 rows in the database. So the more different types of posts and metadata for them we have on our website, the bigger our database becomes. And it becomes much, much bigger because post meta stores much more rows than regular, than post itself. And the worst thing in this situation is that each selection of posts from the database, which core do, goes through all this information to find needed data. So, for example, you showing some widget with recent posts on the page, you need to show only 5 posts, but WordPress call will search these 5 posts among all posts stored in your database, and to show metadata of this post, which you will need, for example, if you want to show featured thumbnail, it will also search among all metadata stored in your database. And the new module allows you to create different type of content and store data of each type in a separate table. And moreover, each item of any custom content type will store it only in one row in this table. So it means if we will take 100 posts from previous example and transfer it to a separate custom content type, then they will occupy not 2,100 rows in the database, but only 100. And this 100 rows will store it in the separate table. So when we select regular posts from the database, the data from our custom content type will not affect to this selection in any way. So it's good, but I understand it's hard to understand from my words. especially with my English level. So let's start with some particular cases, and I try to show it it's all for you on the practical examples. So let's share the screen. 1 second. Should be done. Okay, let's start. Give me just 1 more second. Okay. So let's assume that we have on our website some subscription form. I'm already created it. Here it is, new subscriber it named, and this form have only some basic fields: full name of the subscriber, mail, age, and position, and submit button. And we will not pass this data from this subscription form to any third-party service like MailChimp or ActiveCampaign. We want just to store some data submitted by users and then use it in some way. For example, create manually email newsletters targeted, for example, by age or by position. Besides, by position, I mean manager, developer, marketer, what people doing. So let's go on. Okay. Before we, for example, can use insert update post notification in the form to store this data. But in this case, if, for example, we have high load level site, and for example, 150 people will submit this form each day, in year, we will get around 55,000 form submissions. And as I said, we will set all these form submission as separate posts with some metadata. So we will have something like 55,000 new posts after this year, and a couple of hundreds thousands new rows in the metadata table. And this post will affect on whole your website. On each post selection on the front end, we'll search posts among this 55,000 and, for example, 100 your blog posts. But actually, we need all these form submissions on the backend. We do not need it on front end. We need it only on the backend side to query some data and make newsletter, email newsletter by query data. So in this case, we can try to use this new model because, as I said before, all data will be stored in the separate table and will not affect in any way on posts, another post on your website. So it will not affect in any way on your front end. It will be queried only when you need it. And then we will be affected by some way only when you need it. So what we need to do this? We need to go to the JetEngine custom content types and create a new content type. Press add new button. Like you can see on the screen, this interface for creation and new content type pretty similar to the custom post types which we worked before. It's the same general settings section, it's the same field section, and in the same admin column section. It has a bit different settings in each section, but main logic is the same. So let's start, create new content type. Let's name it form submissions. Submissions. Here you can see database table name. It's actual database table name which will be created in your database, and if you want, you, for example, can access to this database directly from PHP admin or something similar tool. Let's select some new icon. What to select? No. And let's add fields. Fields will be the same as form fields I have. It will be full name with type of text. It will be email with also type of text. It will be field for age with type of number. Minimum value, for example, 18. Maximum value, let's be 99. Step 1. And last field for the position. And field with, it will be type of select. And I will fill it with the options I prepared before, and it's the same options we used in the form. And also we want to display all this field in the admin columns. And even more, let's make each column is sortable. And that's all. Our custom content type is created. Here it is. Here we can see interface for this custom content type where we can add new items directly from backend. Here we can showcase the list of this item, export these items, but on this stage, we're interested to connect this content type with form and then fill items for this content type from the front-end form, not from the backend. So we need go to notification settings, use insert update custom content type notification, select our content type created before. Item status will be published. It's not needed now on this stage. And the last step is to connect form fields to the content type fields. It's also pretty the same like we did before for posts, but as you can see, it's a bit easier for content type because all fields for content type are listed in the settings, and you don't need it put it manually like for posts. So full name will be stored into full name, email into email, and age into age, and position into position. So it's all we done, and we can test our form. Let's make a couple of submissions. I prepared before some list with names to not waste the time to this part. Let's paste just a couple more to have more data to watch on it later. And now let's go to the backend form submissions interface. And how we can see, all our submitted data was added as content type items. And now we can, for example, export this data into CSV file. Here it is. I share it only a browser. 1 second, I try to add this file into browser maybe. Sorry for delay, 1 second. And here you can see the all data was exported. And for example, we can more let's check our sorting feature. Works fine, as you can see. And for example, let's export all people with position developer and age below the 30. As you can see, we have one developer with 31 and one developer 25. So after export, we should have in our file only one developer. So position should be developer. And age should be less than 30 and type integer because age is a number. So let's see what we have in our export file. And yes, we have only one developer with age 25. So we're done with first case and go to the second one. And second one will be next. Let's imagine that we need not only store data on the backend, but also show it on the front end. For example, it will be some not subscription form, but some registration form to the some conference. And like, for example, with WordCamps, we want to show our conference participants on the front end. And one more thing to show more possibilities of this model. For example, we want to show on the front end only participants who allow us to show information about him on the front end. So at start, let's add into the form a new field to allow user to choose show him on the front end or not to show. It will be a field with type checkbox. Let's name it show on front. Manual input. Value for checkbox will be yes. And label, for example, show me on front. And it will not be required field. So apply changes, update. And now we need to add the same field into our form submissions. Here it is. Let's go to the custom content types. Form submissions. And add new field. It also will be named show on front. It will be also type of checkbox and will be only one value yes. We will be save this value its array. It's important thing to make form and custom content type compatible. It's the same like for post types, regular post types, the same logic. And also let's show this field in the admin columns. So we will update content type. Module will automatically add a new column into our database table. And one thing we'll have to do, it's also connect this form field to the content type field, actual content type field in the notification settings. All right, we done. Let's submit our form a couple more times. As you see, show on front checkbox added. And let's move on with new participants. And last one. Okay, we added this new participants. Let's check it. Not. Oh, as I can see, someone also added participants for us. Thank you for helping. Like you can see, shown front is checked. Let's check it also for newly added. And now we need to show these participants on the front end. To show this data on front end, we will use also the thing feature you already know. It's a list and read. The thing which we always use when we need to show some repeating data on the front. And it's posts, it's users, it's terms, it's appointments, it's repeater items. And now it's also, we can show custom content types. So let's create a new listing item. Posts, select source, select source custom content type. From content type form submissions, let's name it subscriber and create. To fill the data into this listing item, we can use the same fields, also the same fields like for post types. It's, for example, dynamic widgets from JetEngine. Source will be post terms object data. And here we can find our content type form submissions and, for example, show full name. And here it is, it works. Let's make some basic styling, very basic. Duplicate. Let's show age now in this field. Oh, sorry, age, not email, age. Customize field outputs. Year, hours. Let's make it bolder to make it more readable. Also, we can use, for example, dynamic text also to pull the data, not only dynamic widgets. Let's use, for example, icon list to pull the user email and user position. Let's select custom content type field, dynamic tag. And here also, like before, for posts or for users and any else, let's select what we want to display. Email it will be in this case. Let's change icon. And here we can show the position. position. Like you can see, it's all pretty clear and easy, and it's all the things you already do for the post types. So I think you will not have any problems to set up. Now it's all with custom content types. Let's make it smaller a bit. And now, okay. By the way, we have only 8 minutes left in our Zoom call with Kate, so we will need to have to remake our call. So I finish with this case, and then we will have a bit more pause, and let's continue after this pause.
Yes, guys, don't worry. We'll have a short break, just a short little pause, so you could pour some tea or coffee or your water or, whatever you like to drink. And then we'll continue for sure with showcasing these wonderful cases that Andrew prepared for us, okay?
So let's give me just 1 minute. I will finish with this case. Some strange things happened with our server, as I see. Some internal server error. Okay. Just give me 1 more second. Oh, okay. It works now. Don't know what the glitch it was. So as we can see, it works. It show our users, participants, but the problem is that it's show all participants, but we need only users who check the show me on front checkbox. So let's go to the content types query and set up this query settings. Let's press. As you can see, interface of query and custom content type are the same as for Elementor or for exporting. So I think it's also not will be a big problem for you. So let's query only users who check show in front. We need for such case use operator like, and value for like should be yes. Only for user who has yes in show in front field, we will show only these users, participants. Okay, as you can see, we left only 5 people. And these 5 people, it's people who, let's ensure it. It's a people who checked this checkbox. So we finished with second case. We added the data into the database. We access to this data from the backend. And now we show this data on the front end. So now just give us please 1-2 minutes to remake a call, and we will continue.
Yes, guys,
Okay.
so just give us a few minutes. We will surely get back to you. And right now you have some little time to get yourself some drinks and, just to do your things. So we will be back in a few minutes. Okay, guys, so we're back pretty fast. I'm pretty sure that you already have everything that you want and like and drink. As far as I can see, you already are having some fun in the chat with whiskey and vodka and stuff. So, okay. So I'm giving the floor back to Andrew because he has prepared some really cool cases for you, even more than the ones that he already showed. So, Andrew, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Kate. Let's continue. And we stop on on showing the submitted items on the front end. The next logical step will, after showing this data on the front end, will be filter this data. So any problem with this, let's filter it. And we will use JetSmart filters for this purposes. I check it shown front for all users to have more data to filter it. And now we need to create filters. For example, we can filter by position and by age. I already created filter by position because it requires to manually fill data with position options, and to not waste time on it now, we will go over this case on the example of age filter. So let's go to the smart filters, click add new, and it will be age filter with type of range. Decimals will be 0, minimal value will be 18, max value will be, for example, 15. Step 1. And here in query variable, we need to set field, which field from the custom content type, which we want to use for filtering. I mean, filter by which we want to filter the data. In our case, it will be age. So also nothing complicated. And also it's like creating filters by meta fields for regular post types. And let's click publish. Let's go to smart filters. As you can see, I already created filter for position. It's checkbox list. And also in the query variable, I just set position, the field from the custom content type. So one thing we'll have to do is add these filters to the page with our subscribers list or participants list or anything list. Let's add new column. Make it in 2 columns, this listing, to make it more readable. And just add our filters as we usually do. Select filter position, filter for JetEngine, and range filter. Select age, also JetEngine. Click update, and let's check it on the front end. For example, managers. As you can see, we queried only managers. Let's query managers older than, for example, 30. And as you can see, we left only one person. So that's all. Like you can see, it's nothing complicated. As I said, it's like a post type, and even easier than post type because you don't have different instances for meta fields, for taxonomies, for posts, its properties, it's only fields. Content types has only fields, and all these fields are the same. So you can easily set up all filters, all listings, and all data you need. And the last case, it's most interesting case as for me. Let's assume that we want to show detailed information about participant. It's not the best example because we don't have detailed information. We show all information in our listing. But let's imagine that we have some custom store and it will be products listing. So you can show some detailed info about product or show product order form. Let's go on and let's do it. Let's show this detailed information. We can do this in two ways. The first way, it's synchronize our custom content type with some custom post type. For example, we will create post type form submissions and synchronize it with our content type for submissions. In this case, content type will be responsible for storing all metadata, for creating listings, and for filtering. And custom content type will be responsible only for showing single page. That's why we will keep this database optimization because we will store all metadata which take a most place in the database. We will store it in the separate table for the custom content type. We will cover this case more detailed in the separate video. And now I want to take a closer look on the second way how we can show this detailed info. And we can do it by using Jet popup. And in this case, we can show this detailed information or show our order form if this is some custom store without leaving the page with listing itself. So what we need to do this? First, we need the pop-up itself. I also created it before. So let's go to this pop-up and fill it with our fields. We can use it also the same fields, but here we can't preview information because the pop-up not related to context of the custom content type, like listing root item related. But if we using dynamic field, we can just use fallback option to visualize data which should be shown in this field. For example, I want to show full name. So with full name not found, I will show fallback full name. Duplicate. Now, for example, I want to show email, clickable email. Now it's email, customize field outputs. Free from email. Maybe this part also will be useful for some users. Also, as I know, a lot of users already used it. We're done with this part. And the last one, let's show age. Age 25. Fallback and years. We're done with pop-up. And now we need to somehow show this pop-up and click by some element in the listening grid. So first of all, let's add into the listening grid a button, for example, a regular elementor button. And also you can see one of our latest features. It's editing of listening grid directly, listening grid item directly in the listening grid, not in the separate interface. And here it is. I added the button. Let's name it details and go to the advanced settings, Jet popup, select popup, our created popup subscriber data, and the most important thing in this case, check this option that is JetEngine listen popup. And one thing I forgot to show you, it's popup settings. Here I have these options already checked, but I will stop on this. To make it to work with JetEngine listening, you need to check these two options. First is loading contact with Ajax, and second one it's force loading. These two options forces pop-up each time when I click on the show pop-up button to load the content from the server, from the backend. And in this case, it's on each time when I will click on the pop-up button, it will show actual content, not the default pop-up content like in here in the editor we can see, but content related to the posts where I click it on it. So we're done. Let's check it. And here it is. I click it on this listing item, and it keep context of this listing item, pass it to the server, and server returns actual data. If I will click on the other users, as you can see, it returns other user data. So actually, we in 40 minutes directly with you done some lightweight catalog website with a submission form, with filters, with products listing, participants listing in our case, with detailed info, or also we can use this pop-up to add order form here and make order for products in our custom store directly from the listing page. So it's all these cases. And before we start in this QA section, I say just a couple of words about our plans, what we plan to do with this module in this a couple of next updates. As I said at the start, this is only first version of this module, and we need to do a lot of work to make it fully functional and to make it totally replace the custom post type in cases where this is actual. And we have huge plans to the development of this module. And the first, our plans, I hope to the nearest future, it will be add compatibility with maps listings, because at this moment in first version it hasn't. Also add WordPress REST API support, so you can use this module as data storage and later integrated, for example, with some mobile applications or any third-party service by specific REST API endpoints, with getting content types, adding content types, editing content types, or anything else, filtering content types. Also, we're planning to add indexer support for filters, and this part is most interesting for me because, because it will work much quicker than now indexer works, because all data will be queried only by one table, and all data already prepared to be queried like indexer need. So I hope we will increase indexer performance for custom content types filters in many times. Also, important things what we want to implement, it's make possible to output data in table format with filtering of the data output is in this table format. For example, like we data tables plugin do. And the second related to this, our goal, our idea, our future feature to the future, it make to possible to output data in the graph format. For example, make this custom content type compatible with charts widget from JetElements. And that's all. The last what I want to say in this some kind of presentation, that the main goal of creation this module was give our clients opportunity to create and build faster and cleaner website and use our project to our products to project of any size and complexity make your website more scalable. So I think it's all.
Okay, guys, so that's pretty much it for today. So, Andrew just showed you a couple of really cool use cases that you can actually implement in your website. And as you can see, it's pretty easy to do, you don't have to be like a I don't know, space scientist or something to do this. So right now I would like to proceed with your questions, because there were some questions that our support team already answered, but there are some pretty interesting ones that we left for Andrew. So Andrew, the first question was asked by the Moxit Khan. Hello, if we use CCT, will it make problem in future to be compatible with CPTs and etc.?
Custom content types can live at your website parallel. Not sure if this word exists in English, but it not depends on the existing post types. So you can create content types, you can create post types, you can mix data of content, make synchronize content types with post types. So I don't think that in the future will be some problems with compatibility, because it separates things and by default it not affects to each other. So if I correctly understand your question, I think you do need to worry about compatibility in the future.
Thank you, Andrew. So the next question was from the Bob Santiago. Does Jet Elements tables can be filled by the CCT dynamically?
At this moment, no, but as I said in the last part of my presentation, we're planning to do this. At this moment, I'm just not sure it will be compatibility with JetElements tables, which will be better for us, but maybe we can implement it. If we can't make this compatibility, I think we'll make separate widget, some something like dynamic tables or ATC. And this widget can use to dynamically query data from custom content types and filter it.
Okay, there also was another question from Bart Dumoulin, or sorry if I pronounced your last name incorrectly. So, and I saw that support team already answered you something that, but I just wanted to ask Andrew as well. So the question is, you can only fill custom content types with JetEngine forms. What I mean is I use PyNet forms and ACF front-end form. I guess no other forms than JetEngine forms can be used to fill the CCTs from front-end.
At this moment, you can use only JetEngine forms, but as I said, it's only first version of this model, and we have huge plans for the future. So maybe we will add compatibility with some other forms providers, clients. But I don't think that it will be our first goal for future development, because as I also said in the last part of my presentation, we have some other goals that we will want to develop on the next stages of this module development. You can use smart filters at this moment. Again, as I said, we only in the beginning of the journey of developing this model. So
sorry, guys, I forgot to turn on my microphone. So the question was from Arish D, and I'll repeat it, and then Andrew will answer it. So now, how can we query and filter this data from front end using something like VP database tables?
yes, thank you, Kate. Sorry for this misunderstanding. As I said, at this moment, you can filter this data by using Jet Smart filters. Particularly, you can add any filter you want for each field of the created custom content type. But in the future, if we will see requests of users on some specific features, we definitely will add it. As we already said before, we mostly user-driven company. So if we see a larger user request on some features, we can change our roadmap and don't implement our features, but do requested features by users.
Yes, guys. So as you can see, if there's something, some really cool idea that you support, the community supports, and, just gives us an understanding that it is very important for you, we will put some our ideas aside in order to implement the ones that you have. So this is really interesting thing and really useful thing for you. Okay, so the next question was from Anthony T. How complex can you make this front-end submission? Can you hook it into other existing custom post types?
Sorry.
Yeah, so probably I guess you can add notifications in the form notification settings. So the information will go not only to CCT, but also to CPT as well. Right, Andrew?
I'm not sure that I understand this question correctly, but yes, the JetEngine form, the main plus of JetEngine forms, it's a flexibility. You can use any actions you want on the same form. For example, you may to add from the front end not one custom content type, but couple of them on one form submission and use some part of form for one content type, the second part of form for second content type, and third part of form, for example, for some custom post type. So if this question was about this, so yes, you can combine anything you want in the form actions. By the way, Kate, sorry, 1 minute just.
Go ahead.
What I also want to say about user-driven features, for example, we added one tiny feature also requested by our user into this JetEngine update, but it's very cool feature. We do not think about it, but when our user said about it and we implemented it, and I understand that it's really cool feature. It's feature called lazy loading for listing grid widgets, and it allows you to improve performance of the page with huge listings by lazy load this listing, not load listing directly on the page load, but load it only when you need it. For example, we will check lazy load and it, and we'll check this page. As you see, oh, sorry,
Guys, just give us a minute. Andrew will share the screen. You see, we're so excited that we even forget about microphones and the screens and everything. We're so happy to, just let you know about these wonderful features that we have. And thank you to our wonderful guys who actually, bring their ideas to light so we could see it and use it and implement it for you.
Here it is. I checked this feature on the backend, lazy load, and as you can see now on the front end, listing load not on the page loads, but a bit later. And as you can see, I have some performance checking plugin, and all PHP scripts on my page was done into 0.04 seconds. It's really quick. I understand that's a very simple page, but it's really quick. For example, if I will check, click turn off lazy load feature and check again. As you can see now it's 0.1.5. It's also really quick. It's very quick, but it's a lot faster than was before with lazy load. So lazy load, so this feature, it's tiny feature, but it can dramatically increase performance of pages with huge listings. So thank you, Kate. Let's continue with questions.
I just turned on my mic. You should be able to hear me. Okay, so the next question was from Lillian. What about taxonomies? Oh, okay, we're running out of time. So I guess we will have another little pause and then we'll continue. But we still have 10 minutes to go, so don't worry, guys. So the question from Lillian, what about taxonomies? How to add them to CCTs?
In the CCTs, you don't actually don't have difference between taxonomies and meta fields. In the WordPress itself, taxonomies, it's some other way to combine the data. And for example, taxonomies different from meta fields. In our context, it's only that the taxonomy has archive, what a word, archive page, but meta fields not. But for us, for example, if we make some filter, it's the same, because we can make, for example, if I take my listing with positions, positions could be like meta field and could be like taxonomy. When I create filter and listing, it don't have any difference. So custom content types do not have archive pages. It completely related and connected to the listings and filters. So in this case, you don't have any difference what to use, and you just may to can to create field, for example, category, add options for this field, and use this field in the same way as you use taxonomy as usual. But one more important thing. Custom content types, it's not totally replacement for post types. It replaces post types in the cases where it can do it. So, for example, if you have project where you actually need these taxonomies, where you have a huge dependency on these taxonomies, where you have a huge dependency on the taxonomy or archive pages. So in this case, it will be better to use default post types, not the custom content types. Custom content types is better to use when you have some custom archive, or not archive, some custom listing. For example, I hope our client not allow me to I want to show, will do mind, and I want to show website of one of our clients, which, sorry, I will find it. And let's share a screen. Here it is. It's one of the best examples of JetEngine usage I ever seen. I really see a lot of client sites done with JetEngine, a lot of pretty beautiful websites, and this is one of the most beautiful. And as you can see, it totally depends on the filters, on the listing on the front page, and filters created for this listing. So this website already at this moment can be completely replicated. I hope it can be completely replicated, because always exist some tiny things which you will need to develop or fix or something like this. But as you can see, it main page, listing, filters, and all this thing. It's a fully functional website. It's a great website, and this website on this stage can be done with custom content types. Yeah, let's remake our call.
Yeah, guys, so right now, give us a few minutes again, and we will get back to you, so you can just listen to this pretty cool chilling music, and we will be back in a minute. Hey guys, we're back. Okay, let's continue with our questions. So there were two questions, one from Vaisant Kumar and another one from Jamie Sheehan about the repeater. So the first one, please let us know how the repeater field is handled in CCT. And the other one, what's the plan for adding this for repeater fields? So Andrew, could you please let us know about the plans for the repeater?
Repeater fields already handled in the custom content types, but it's stored at the database like serialized array, and at this moment this data not very useful when, for example, you export it, and yes, on export stage only. If you, for example, want to show some data in the listing or the single page when synchronized with listing grid or with content type, with custom post type, it should work fine. If not, we will fix it, but at this moment should work fine. Not exactly understand what the question about what's the plan for adding this for repeater fields. If it's the same question, so yes, it already works for repeater fields. If not, I'm not sure. So could you please specify a bit your question a bit?
Okay, thank you, Andrew. There was another question from Marco Prof website. Data export to Google Sheets webhooks. Will it be possible?
It's a great idea. At this moment, this is not possible, but I think we will implement it. Maybe some separated on, maybe to the core, for example, add some button, synchronize it once daily and twice daily. But idea is great. Also, I think the great idea will be to make two-side connection. For example, if you add some data into the Google Sheets, and it will be automatically added to custom content type on the website. So yes, we will add this to our roadmap. But guys, the only problem with all of this that at this moment we need and have a lot of things to do with these custom content types. So I'm not estimate when we will add some features, for example, Google Sheets integration. It's a great feature, but
great things take time, guys. We need some
yes,
time to develop it.
at this moment, today, for example, it's hard to say what we will do and when.
Yeah, so
Just
we cannot give you like the approximate date or month when this will be implemented, but this is a wonderful idea that we can actually that we take it into the account and we will work on it for sure. Okay, Andrew. So there was another question from SpaceF Devices. Do you display CCTs only with listing grid or with other modules too, like a CCT module / element?
at this moment, it's compatible only with listing grid. But also, as I said, if we will see user requests on make it compatible with some other widgets, elementor widgets, or requests on some specific widgets to showcase this custom content type, we will definitely add it.
Okay, and there was another question from York Melkers. Not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Sorry if I mispronounce it. So, is pagination working with CCT?
Oh, at this moment, no, but we will add this next week. we really miss this since we make it compatible with filters, but forgot about pagination. And we will, these things we will fix first. So I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday we will release with support of pagination from smart filters.
Okay, there was a question from Tuan Trong. Sorry, man, if your last name was pronounced incorrectly. Okay, can I import and export data to CCT? Well, we showed on the examples that we can export the data, but can we import the data to CCTs?
No, at this moment we not yet added this feature, but it also, for example, when we will make integration with Google Sheets, this is a pretty similar feature. For example, and I think we will implement it together. It's imports in different formats, for example, from Excel tables, from CSV tables, from Google Sheets, and also export and synchronization with different third-party services. I hope we will implement this in next 1 or 2 months.
Okay, there was also another idea from Marco Prof website. PayPal, Stripe, Molly, ideal options in forms.
PayPal integration already exists. We speak about it on our first JetTalk. I'm not sure. You can contact support and they will send you instructions how to connect PayPal with your JetEngine forms. As for other payment gateways, at this moment, we don't have exact plans when we will add support for them, mostly because this is very forgot the word. Sensible. Or sensitive. Oh, thank you. Sensitive. Because payment gateways works with very sensitive data, so we very carefully adding these features, all features related to these payment gateways.
Okay, so Marco is also asking about the webhooks.
What exactly?
What exactly, Marco? What do you mean? Okay, so while you're typing and explaining what you mean, we have another question from Horby Games. When you will add password recovery system in the profile builder? This is, the question not regarding this topic that we have today, but for the future plans. So, Andrew.
Password recovery widget already in progress. It will be added not into the profile builder, but into the JetBlocks plugin, because this plugin serves our default WordPress form, for example, default login form, for example, default registration form, and also it will be serve password recovery form. And at this moment, this feature on testing stage, and I hope it will be released soon, but also not sure exactly when. Maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a few days.
Okay, there also was a question from Lilian about Zoom calls. Will you continue Zoom call possibility in the future? This is really a good question. If I'm not mistaken, we continue this opportunity. Andrew, do you know anything about that? Because to tell the truth, I didn't contact our support team about this question, but I will ask them. And Lilian, probably you will get answer from our support guys in the live chat right here on YouTube in a few minutes, okay? So, also there was a question from Will G. It's actually not a question, but probably like suggestion or his hopes. I'm looking forward to all of this being integrated into the Jet Elements dynamic charts.
Oh, it will be great. Yes, we're planning, and it's one of the most our plans, not most important, but one of the first things what I think about when created this model. The first my idea was create this model, integrate it with listing grid, integrate it with JetEngine or JetElements tables, and integrate it with JetElements charts. But on practice, as you see, we started a bit in different way. Start from smart filters, from forms, and tables and charts will be integrated soon.
Thank you, Andrew. So, as you can see, well, this was a good one. This good question. Okay, so Marco was asking about the webhooks previously, and he specified, to get data, send data through webhooks in like JSON.
Still not sure that I think about the same thing about Marco, but what I want to say, what was our plans to this model release? We don't to do a lot of things in first version, mostly because we want to see users feedback, what users mostly want, and then develop it. To not waste time for some things that user do not need. So please, could you please create all your wishes as GitHub issues on our repository with suggestions, and mark it, for example, as CCT or custom content type or something else to understand that it's custom content type related issue. We will work on it. We will watch what users mostly want, and based on these issues, we will create our roadmap on this model. And for now, it has a lot of dependency. The future development of this model has a lot of dependency on the user's feedback. So you can directly drive on what we will do with it in the future, in the next 1-2 months. So please create your issues and we will try to work with it. By the way, about issues, don't worry if some issues not implement as soon as you want. Believe me, we working on it, we checking it, we researching it, and we try and implement these issues like we can do this, like our possibilities allows us. So don't worry, we don't forget about these issues. We don't ignore it. We work on it. We continuously work on it. But some issues requires more time, some issues less time, some issues has more priority for users, some issues have less priority. That's why not all issues we implement as soon as you want.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you. And yes, guys, we care about you. We see all the suggestions. We see everything. We read your comments. And as you can see, we reply to your comments as well on YouTube and everywhere. So, yeah, just, some things, they take time. Okay, so there was another question from York. Jet form picture upload loads the file even when the form is not submitted. Do you plan to change this behavior and blind bind the upload on the submit action?
Yes. We already received such request on the GitHub. Also was support request. we're planning to change this behavior, but not yet implemented. I hope it will be released in the 2.5 branch, not 2.6 and 2.5, for example, 2.5.5 or 2.544. So it will be in
Pretty
next
soon.
1 or 2 months, I hope.
Okay, and there was another question from York as well. Do you consider to make a data-driven analyze widget for CCT? In example, custom functions to make data mining possible?
Also, not sure. You mean if you mean, for example, querying items based on some data, for example, most popular items or most items with some, don't even know. I think it will be better if you will describe your request on the GitHub. And
Yeah, just, give us more
I
details.
will, yes, I will think about it, because at this moment I am not sure that we think about the same things.
Yes, York. So could you please submit your request on the GitHub and,
Oh, I
just
see min max average. Oh, yes, yes. These things we will add. It also will be implemented like dynamic functions. I even can say you that dynamic functions directly when this functionality was created, custom content type was not exist yet, but by by own logic, dynamic functions more related to the custom content types than regular post type. So yes, we will make it compatible with custom content types.
Okay, and there is another question from Ron. Is it possible to include an alert before an upgrade to alert if the upgrade requires another plugin like Elementor to be updated first? This is probably a general question.
Maybe yes, it has sense. It makes sense. We need to think about, as usual. No, I can send you mostly about JetEngine. JetEngine not mostly related on the elementor versions. And as usual, if exist some versions incompatibility, we add in some legacy code to make plugin to work on old version and on new version. So I'm not sure at this moment if we will make some feature, but maybe.
Okay, guys, and what else? Do we have any other questions? Dynamic visibility for product categories. To in particular, how can I set it up? Well, I think it's better to contact support teams so they could assist you. And as of now, if you have any other question in regards to the topic of today's live Q&A, just drop them in the chat. Okay, Kevin Richter, sorry. Is there any roadmap for a new Jet search release? There are plenty of feature requests from the community that need some attention. What about Jet search, Andrew? Are we planning on releasing this one soon? I need to know that as well, because I'll have to record the video probably.
Yes, I know that was some requests on new functionality, but at this moment we have a lot of work on other plugins, but we will try to make some update iteration for Jet search. We will try. in next, I hope, one month, one maybe two. We will discuss this in our development team on the next week, and we will try to find the time for Jet Search, because yes, it has some features very requested by the community.
Okay. What's next? Lillian, what is the best way to support a request on GitHub? Is it necessary to comment, or is it a reaction enough that you recognize? How do we sort our GitHub suggestions, Andrew? Could you please uncover this, you know, just shed some
Yes,
light on it?
if some suggestion has additional comments by other users or even reactions, we give these suggestions more priority. To make it more visible for us, I recommend use both, because if post has a lot additional reaction or comments, it make more attention for us. Just visually, not some huge scenes, just visually more attractive. Not attractive, more заметный как будто.
Noticeable.
More noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for my English.
Your English is great, come on. Guys know that we're from Ukraine and we're trying our best, actually, so I think they appreciate it, right, guys? You know, just let us know if it's okay, if it's understandable. I mean, to these live chats, broadcasts. Oh, thank you. Okay, so Marco was asking, I have a website on which people can post as entrepreneurs. I don't want them to be in the WordPress environment. How can they see their bookings? How can they receive money for the bookings?
It's an interesting. As for bookings, we have also big plans for the development, and one of these plans it's creating some kind of dashboard for admin part and also for front end part, if you want to avoid your members to access admin area directly. So, but again, I'm not sure when we will implement this. But guys, I really, it's really hard for me on each talk say to you this phrase that we will implement it, but I don't know when, because there is a lot things, a lot great things we want to do, a lot things that we understand we need to do. But at this moment we have only seven developers, and each developer work very hard to work on each plugin on some specific plugins, some work on a couple of plugins, and unfortunately it's related for our human resources restrictions, so we can't implement all these great features in the shortest time. So unfortunately we need to wait some time.
Yes, guys, and don't forget about the quarantine, because Ukraine is still in the quarantine zone, and yeah, we have to work from home, as you can see. But we're trying our best, actually, and thank you very much for your support in the comments. You're lovely. Sending you huge hugs. Okay, so there was another question, and I think I lost it already. Just give me a minute to find it. I think it was from Jamie Shihan one more time. So, is there a way to output errors in forms inline for each field?
No, at this moment, no. But also, I can give you one small insight. Currently, we work on completely new forms interface, new forms logic. It will be completely different from existing forms, and I hope it will be much more powerful and much more usable for our clients. And when we will release this new form module, replace existing module with new, I hope we will add this functionality in this new module.
Sorry, I just need to read this one. Your English is collectively better than our Ukrainian. Oh, thank you. Okay, so
Thank you for your support.
yeah. There was another question from, oh my god, where is it? I think I lost it already again. Sorry. Yeah, do you, so the question from King Cam, do you all foresee a membership module in the future? We already talked about the membership previously. Remember, Andrew?
Yes. It will not be a separate module. It will be some membership functionality parts in existing module. For example, it's a post restrictions for the profile builder. The next step will be different profile pages access for and profile menus and profile areas for different user roles. For example, for job portal, if you want to create a different profile for candidate and different profile for company. And last part we will implement, it will be some user roles management. And when you will have all this part, you can combine it into some working membership website.
And Andrew, there also was another question from Kevin Richter. Again, sorry if I mispronounced your last name. So the question is, what are the plans for improving the performance of the Jet plugin suite? In example, on-demand asset loading.
For example, it's the lazy loading feature. It's related also for performance issue. Whole custom content type module is totally related to the performance optimization. Also, we're planning some more improvements to make some parts of our plugins more fast, more optimized. And at this stage, we understand that for future performance optimization, it's one of most important part of our development cycle and of our product value. We need not only add some new features, we also need to optimize our product to make it as fast as it can. So yes, we will continue to work in this direction.
Okay, there was another question. Will you also collaborate with third parties to make it easy to use different tools with your tool?
We're trying to collaborate with some other plugin developers when we have such requests, for example, from our users. The latest example, it was adding Metabox IO compatibility, extending Metabox IO compatibility, and we're planning also to work in this direction to make our products even more compatible, for example, with this plugin set. So yes, we always open to any suggestion and collaboration.
Okay, guys. So I think our live Q&A is going to an end for today, but you know that we kind of continue doing this, and I see that you like this format. So we will surely continue the Q&As and live broadcasts and stuff like that. Not only with Andrew, like for example, a couple of weeks ago we had the first Russian broadcast about the profile builder with our team member Vitaly, and we will probably continue doing this with other team members as well. And yeah, as far as I can see, there are not many questions left. There's like one question from Jamie. Where can we invest in Crocoblock? Good one. Yes.
Oh, so sorry, Kate. I also saw one question.
Oh, go ahead.
Interesting.
Go ahead.
One interesting question from Peter. Is it possible to query CCT with SQL? Yes, it's definitely possible, because in the core of all it's very basic PHP and SQL requests. So if you're interested in to access CCT data from the PHP code, I will share some example on GIST and will send you. You can pay send me a direct message in the Facebook, and I will send you these examples how you can query data from custom content types directly from PHP.
Okay, guys, so thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for being active, for asking your questions. There were some really cool ones, and there were some really cool suggestions that we will surely note down. And don't forget to, stop by the GitHub as well, to write it there, to suggest your ideas so we could see it as well. And, so you could give us more details about it so we could clearly understand your request. Yeah, so thank you for being with us. I hope that you will have a wonderful evening, day, morning, whatever it is in your place currently, because as we saw in the very beginning, you got connected from different countries, different time zones. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for joining us. So we will probably see you sometime soon, and I'll see you in the next videos. And if you still have any questions, don't forget to ask them. Don't hesitate to ask them in our chat, in the tickets, and on Facebook, in our community, like everywhere that you can. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for today. I hope that you will have a wonderful day. And Andrew, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for sharing this wonderful information. And we'll see you guys sometime later.
Yeah. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, guys.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, all.